Tofilau, everybody. This is Vani Malaiolo, and this is the Empowerment Show. This is the show where we bring you some great people that are doing great work in the community, or their chosen profession. We get their wisdom, insight, and any knowledge they may have for our empowerment. And my guest today, we are treated once again with an awesome guest today, Toga Tofilau, working over at the Salvation Army. Also, welcome to the show. Hey. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about yourself also, and also what you do there at the Salvation Army.
Cool. Yep, so, Toga Tofilau. So Toga Tofilau's full name, born and raised here in Wellington. I grew up in 44 country, Strathmore, 44. And both my parents are Samoan, so dad's from Iwa and Vaiwhai, Vaiwhai and Iwa. And so my mum's from Vailoa and Whaleata in Apia. Got three brothers, two of them are in Melbourne. Got a younger one in Stokes Valley, and I've got a baby sister in Brisbane. And brought up in the PIC church. Met my wife at Elam Church, and now stomping here at Hutt City Salvation Army. Been married 23 years, got 4 kids, and we've got a dog named Simba. So that's just part of who I am. So here at Salvation Army, I've been here 10 years. Running what we call transition housing, and so before that I was running a boys' home along with a great team in town called the Inn. So I was there for 4 years. So been with the Salvation Army for 14 years pretty much. So that's me. Yeah.
I just want to go back a bit. When you say you've been at Salvation Army for 10 years, how did you transition in there, and what took you there from your previous role?
Yeah, good question. So I got a background in youth work. So
Cool.
I guess when I was younger, wanted to get into the police force. Got into a bit of trouble, as you do. And so I went through the diversion program, and that's how I met the Salvation Army. So, when I applied, I thought, I'd been charged with what I'd been charged with. But actually, I could still have applied, and it could have been okay. Anyway, I thought, look, that dream's gone, and I still want to work with people. So I got into youth work. And the opportunity, I was working for Youth for Christ, and so they went in a different direction, and the opportunity to run a boys' home came along. So working with people is something that I love to do, just journeying with people, but just seeing the gold in everybody, recognising that everyone's got a gift, and something to give. So that's what got me going on here at Salvation Army. And so the opportunity was to work with parents. So we've got a contract to journey alongside parents and provide wraparound and support. So
Very cool. And so when you entered into Salvation Army, you said you started at, was it PIC in Elam?
Yeah. Brought up in the PIC church in Newtown. And so through the youth group, great leaders there that modelled the example of Jesus. And so that's my spiritual home. So you get the phone call if there's a funeral, and if you're available, you turn up and they tell you what song you're going to sing, and then they tell you where to stand and what to do, and you just honour those leaders. So so there, and then I went to Elam Church. That's where my wife, she chased me, and I went to fellowship with Jesus, and then she, 23 years later, we've got 4 kids, and
Nice. Also, when you went into Salvation Army and you're doing what you're doing now, I was, when I first heard of Salvation Army, I didn't realize it was actually a church, first and foremost. And I'm just wondering how your family took it when you said, now you're going to go transition into Salvation Army and do the work there. Typically, from what I know, I'm not too sure, you can confirm this or not, but we don't necessarily see too many Pasifika in the Salvation Army. Did you get some mixed reactions, and how did you deal with it?
Yeah, good question. Also, I think, I guess I see myself as part of that first generation of our parents migrating here and taking up those opportunities. And I think before it used to be you stick with that one church. But, my parents were really supportive of, as long as I was going somewhere and there was a connection to the spirituality side. That was pretty cool, because I got married at Elam Church. Coming to Salvation Army, like I guess with some of your traditional churches, you become part of Alpha and stuff like that. So I became a soldier. So I wear the uniform, and so there's a there's a list of I guess points that I honour as part of being a soldier. There's things that I choose to abstain from, and but I don't shove that down people's throats. It's just something that I've chosen to do. Salvation Army have a trained to care for people and transform lives. Pretty much what you're doing, and so I do that. Just part of it is that I feel that God has placed me here for that purpose. And but the army doesn't just do that; everyone else does that. So for now, I guess I've been here 14 years, so they must still not mind me being here.
You're doing something right, also. You're doing something right.
Yeah.
And just going off that, what do you love about your role? What do you love? I mean, obviously there'll be some challenges, and we'll get into that. But in terms of the highlights of what you do day in, day out, is there anything that comes to mind?
Yeah. I get paid to love people, right?
Cool.
And that's really cool. And so, but loving people too. I guess if I come out of my faith, the Bible says, the word says, the truth sets you free. And so part of it is I've got to speak some truth to people. And it's not just I'm going to be your best friend. It's I'm going to tell you the truth because I care about you. And so, sometimes that's not going to be easy, but I'll journey with you to find the things that we need to do to release you with the gifts that you have to operate out there. I love that. I love working with people. I love listening to people's stories. Had a young person come through to do some hours, community hours, just like I did back in the day, and love the opportunity just to connect with them and say, hey, look, you're here to do some voluntary hours because you're recognising that you might have dropped the ball somewhere, but actually you're acknowledging that and you're going to get up and you're going to carry on with life. So, I love that, hearing their story and being able to release them and to say, hey, look, what's next for you? So, helping him out with his journey, so that's some of the stuff I love.
That's amazing.
Other cultures, and experiencing other cultures, mixing with other people, other agencies that are out there. There's great agencies out here in the Heart Valley, that because I don't know everything and we don't know everything, so let's share. And it's there's a saying, there's a cliche, and we're all in this together, and we are.
Yeah.
So,
collaborate and share ideas, all for the benefit of our people coming through.
Yeah.
Very cool. And are there any challenges also? Are there any challenges in terms of, getting into this line of work? And I mean, I know that can be a silly question, but is there, like the top challenges that come to mind that you can share with us and how you've dealt with it or learned from it?
Yeah, I think, so challenges, I think that they come from yourself, really. I think if there's things so sometimes if I'm sitting in a space where I'm uncomfortable and I don't know, it's because I lack understanding, but also I know it's challenging for me. So part of it is being able to look at that and go, what am I going to do about this? And so you have good people around you. Accountability is something that's important. If you don't have people accountable, then you sit on your own. But there's people out there that I'll speak with and say, hey, look, I've got this on my mind. What do you think? And so they can realign you with where your purpose is. So mine is, loving God and loving my neighbour. Now, who's my neighbour? Everybody. All right. So speaking truth,
sure.
But also if I'm lacking understanding in a certain area, it's about talking to people that will tell you the truth. But also looking at what I can do to understand that better. So,
very cool. Was it? I just wanted to ask, with your journey, through, the young life that you had, and you said that you got up to a little bit of mischief, and then transitioning into, I suppose, sparking the passion to really give back to our young people coming through and developing them, and in your role now, is there a piece of advice that you were given along the way, or a couple of pieces of advice that really helped guide you and really take you back to holding you steady in your faith in God and the path that you're on?
Yeah. I think that there's I had one of the mentors. He was talking to me about task and people.
Okay.
They're like we love people.
Yeah.
Awesome. But there's also tasks. So part of it is that we don't just sit and concentrate on on getting along with people. There's things to do. Hey, and so part of it is releasing these people to go, what are you doing about it? Often, like growing up, love the old kung fu movies. So, old shoot, flying fist of Judah, right? So the old school stuff is that the words were here and the actions were here. The problem sometimes is that the words and the actions stay apart. So it's trying to get that together and going, let's keep this going together. So I think, part of what I like to think that I'm trying to do is to empower people to do that and say, move on with your life. Don't sit comfortable. You sit comfortable, you don't move. So that's some of the stuff, the advice that I was given, and try and pass that on to others. I mean, Dad, he worked hard. My brothers, they work hard. So part of it is, get up every day, opportunity to try different things. We were joking about dancing in the weekend. That was an opportunity of going, do something different. Hey, life's about that stuff. So there was a task, and I could have been comfortable with stuff, but with these dads, we're able to get out there and put on a show for some of these families. So part of it is getting uncomfortable in that task part and pushing people to release them as well.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. Yeah, no. That's great. And I guess as well, just coming back to what you're doing there, what are you seeing out there? Also, what are you seeing out there in your line of work and dealing with the people around you? Given what we're going through at the moment, it's unusual times. We have never been through this before. And what can we, I suppose, get a better perspective of what's happening out there in the grassroots in the community, in particular with housing or whether it be youth development, etc.
Yeah. So I think definitely that you've nailed it there. I mean, that's the stuff that we're concentrating on. COVID has brought a whole lot of different things, but housing continues to be a problem. We've got a lot more people coming into looking, needing housing. But at the same time, we were operating through that period and providing food parcels along with other agencies. But from there, a lot of other food banks have sprung up, which is really cool. There's I know that some of the community in Naira have sort of started up different things, which is really cool to see, because we can't do it on our own. So that's some of the stuff that's coming through. I think even with the youth as well. I guess some of the stuff that because one of what we found too was that the youth, we thought they'd connect more, but they hardly did during that time. And so that was really challenging. I mean, we've come back and youth groups have started up again and stuff like that, which is really cool. But I think coming back to the simple things, just being able to check on our neighbours, check on each other, how's it going? Some of the stuff that we've taught from the past, look after each other. So, that's the stuff that we're finding, not just as individuals, but also as an agency. Collaborating with other people out there, with other networks too.
Fantastic. If somebody was to or wanted to, somebody could be watching this and thinking, I'd love to collaborate or I'd love to help out in some way, shape or form. And again, just given the circumstances and understanding, hey, there's some people out there that might be doing it quite tough out there. They might be able to lend a helping hand. How can they get involved, and how can they get in touch with somebody like yourself or the team that you have working with you?
Yeah. So look, always opportunity to come in and have a conversation.
Okay.
Come in, sit down. We've got my manager Liz Wilsonholme's here, our pastors here, Ivan and Glenda. So come and sit down, share what's going on, because sometimes they just need someone to talk to in some direction about how to make things work, but also being able to plug into the council and saying, hey, look, what's something that I want to work on? How does that work? But certainly, we're down at Hutt City Salvation Army. If you want to pop down and have a conversation, just ask for time. There's not too many Pacific Islanders here. But look, open to sit down and have a ipuki or ipukoko.
That always goes down with some mussies as well. Any advice for somebody that's thinking of getting into youth work or getting into, I suppose, the line of work that you're in? coming through. I mean, it's, we think about what we want to do when we're children or when we're growing up, and it's, can tend to be a rugby player or musician or what
Mm.
have you, and those are all really great. But if there's someone out there that's thinking, oh man, I'd love to get into that kind of line of
Yeah,
work, what would you say to them?
yeah. I'd say, look, have a chat with people that you know about it. Hey, find out what's going, what goes on. I mean, like for myself, I mean, I remember I was saying, I wanted to get involved with the police. It took a totally different direction. And, so many years later, I'm still enjoying working with people. And that can, so many different lines of work. And so part of this role that I do, I know it's not a 9 to 5, eh? There's times beyond that. And that's part of the sacrifice, that you make when you're working with people. But at the same time, it's balancing looking after yourself, and that when it's time to turn off the phone and when I want to go on leave, I'm going on leave. So it's being able to balance that stuff out. Trying different things for yourself. But certainly, there's rewards, and a lot of people say, "Man, that must be really rewarding," but it's also very challenging. And so, how you do that is that you have, like I was saying before, a group of people that will tell you the truth. Now, I've got a group of men that I fellowship with. I've got my mentors, and so they all know what's going on. So part of it is being able to talk to people and have people that will support you if you're going to do some of the stuff, but also looking after yourself. My wife is really important in that role as well as my family. So yeah, but it's there's a cost. Hey, there's a cost to what we do. Hey, it costs money, it costs time.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Tonga, I wanted to ask you, what does empowerment mean to you?
Empowerment. So empowerment for me, I think, is that we operate in the authority that we have to go out there and influence the circle of people that we're around. So I guess one of the things I believe is that, one, we're created in the image of God. Two, that we're all created with gifts. We've all got something to give. We've all got something to offer. So part of it is being able to understand what that gift is, and also being able to shape that by getting people around you to release you to go and do that. And so sometimes you might not want to hear some of the stuff, but like I was saying, the stuff sets you free, and it's about pushing you to go and influence your circle of influence as well, the people that are around you, your neighbours.
Yeah, totally agree. And with that saying as well, the truth will set you free. That's so true. Sometimes it's the hardest thing to do, but it's once you get through that, you'll find out that you're on the right path and you can go where God needs you to be.
Yeah.
Also,
You look. I just really appreciate the space that you provide for this, the forum. I mean, when you messaged and you went, I had to say to you, sorry, I think you got the wrong person, eh? But really, really humbly. But also, I've looked at some of the guys that you've put up there, and just being able to grab some of that stuff empowers me too. So we might talk about empowering others, but we're empowered as we look at the space that you provide to continue to do what we do. I know some of the guys, Laku and Ivan, but even looking at Daniel and Johnny and Siosi and some of the stuff that they put up there, real cool. Especially among Pacific Island men. Hey, I think I was looking at what Ivan was saying about sleeping giants. There's a lot of us out there sleeping giants. So I guess our role is to release those people. Hey. I know that. Sorry, I'm going to get all scriptural.
No, go for it.
It's all in Paul. Just that whole thing of Saul getting hit on the road of Damascus, and Paul. There was Ananias, right? And so the word was, God said to Ananias, I want you to go find this guy. I want you to go to Straight Street. Now, what a street to go to? Go to Straight Street, and I want you to go talk to this guy. Ananias was like, this is the guy that was killing all the Christians, eh? And you want me to go and release him? And now at the end of the day, Ananias had that job to go and release Paul. Now he went out and he impacted the whole, he impacted the whole world. And so all of us are Ananias in our own sort of area. So we've got a role to play to release a lot of people. And so you're doing that with some of the stuff. So really appreciate your thought. Love your tone of voice, and I look forward to hearing you do some singing, because I reckon
Oh, stop it.
you might teach me about my dancing feet, man, but I hear it in you, bro.
Well, I just want to say thank you to you. Yeah, I want to say thank you to you. And I remember when I got that message and reading it, thinking, man, I've got the right guy for sure. And after talking to you, and also, I suppose the reason why reaching out to you was that initial interaction that we had those many years ago, and just your energy. I just think it's infectious, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that will be able to agree with that. So I appreciate you, and I appreciate your time. I appreciate the work that you do. I don't think many people understand the challenges and the time and effort that goes into helping out our youth, or helping out our, I suppose, our vulnerable people out there. So I wanted to get you on and get those messages across. And the messages of your scriptures are most welcomed. I think that's powerful. And I think people need to hear it. And as you say, you know, the sleeping giants, and we share that with Ivan as well, and many of our other Pacifica men. We're just so much more out there that's, you know, waiting to be awakened. And if we can do that collectively, I think that's just going to be for the benefit of more and more of our Pacifica men, especially coming through, or anybody listening to it. So that's a long-winded thank you, also, but I love it to you.
Humbling.
Yeah,
Bless
God bless you. Bless you too.
Keep up the great work you do.
Thank you. Well, this is me signing off. Mani Malaiulu and Tonga Tofilau on the Empowerment Show.